Hi, I'm Heather, and I'm going to be reading a short story I wrote called Beginner's Mind. I remember the day we reconnected for the first time in years. I was sitting at a cafe table with a big white cup of fancy coffee in front of me on a saucer. The cafe was somewhere warm enough that the walls rolled up, so the fresh air moved freely in the space. It was a sunny day, and I recall feeling the delicious, rare anonymity. I was fully immersed in my book and the sensual experience of the moment. I was aware of every sound, smell, and experience of the air as it caressed my skin. I felt you before I saw you. I wished I'd had the pleasure of watching your approach, but I reminded myself the universe always presents me with gifts more incredible than my imagination alone can perceive. I pretended to still be looking at my book and paused, breathing deeply. I rested my gaze at your feet and felt doubt creep in, wondering if it really was you. I almost looked up to make sure, but decided that would ruin the surprise. Beginner's mind, I reminded myself. See him for the first time while holding the knowing that he is as incredible as you imagine and remember. Your shoes and pants were different. I felt relief as I realized you had upgraded the material, quality, and style, but maintained your practicality. As I continued to slowly bring my eyes up your body, taking in every inch of you, I felt tears well up and my breath caught as your hands came into my view. My body instantly cried out with the familiar, yet so distant as to feel like an echo, desire to feel your hands on my bare skin. By now, you'd probably noticed I was taking my time before looking at you fully. You shifted your weight and lifting the hand I was focused on, rising my eyes with it. I remember wishing you would move in slow motion. My eyes were starting to feel frantic to continue their exploration one section at a time, as if they knew taking you in all at once would cause a brain cramp. My eyes landed on your chin, already aware of your smile. I was tempted to explore your impossibly handsome face, but opted instead to focus on your hand as your fingers entered your hairline, combing your hair back. The gray was more pronounced, but it was still mostly your natural light caramel red brown. Hi, Heather. My entire system responded to the sound of your voice. It entered my ears and melted down my body just the way it used to. I met your eyes and paused, breathing before responding, slowing the moment down so I didn't miss a moment. Hi, Sel. Can I join you? You asked, gesturing towards the chair opposite me at my table. I felt amazed to realize you weren't sure I would say yes. Yes, please, I said, remembering all the times I'd breathed those words into your ear. I was delighted to be reminded of your relaxed way of sitting, how you expressed with your hands, your smile, the slow, sly one, the quick, joking one. Your hair was a little overgrown, but not the boyish, messy stage yet. Your eyebrows were even wilder than I remembered, the gray hairs coarser than the others and sticking out in all directions. The sun seemed to move in impossible ways, so it was always providing the best lighting for you. Sometimes it was a rim of golden backlighting to silhouette your form, sometimes bouncing off another surface to bring out that special sparkly quality in your eyes. I asked you questions, keeping it light and safe. I just wanted to hear your voice, telling me stories about anything at all. I couldn't help myself. Part of me stepped away from the conversation to time travel back to one of the first sunsets we'd shared, this one on the back deck of your Powell house. We'd been rolling around for a while in the low light and cool air of the basement. You suggested we get outside and enjoy the sunset. We wore our robes just in case someone appeared, dancing with them open for easy access to explore each other's bodies and feel the warm air on our skin. After a bit, you pressed me down towards a chair and spread my legs wide. You kneeled down, gently kissing my pussy, my stomach, massaging my inner thighs. I was enjoying a piece of dark chocolate with cherries in it, and my hands were buried in your hair. I remember saying, I have made so many good decisions in my life to be here in this moment, and I am so damn pleased with myself. Your warm brown eyes sparkled with the light of the setting sun reflecting off the glass behind me. Your eyes roamed over my entire body as if you were appreciating a fine work of art. You took a deep breath with emphasis on each word and said, "What a beautiful sunset." You returned to your joyful exploration of my clitoris, and I felt lit up, the feeling spreading from the tip of your tongues outwards, filling me from the tips of my toes to the ends of my fingers, bursting out the top of my head. I smiled broadly, allowing myself to relax more fully, rest my head back on the chair, and whisper, "I deserve this. I deserve this," while I ran my hands through your hair. I came back from my time traveling, rested my head in my hand, once again listening to you intently, enjoying every sense and moment. I noticed pressure was building within me. I had stalled long enough and needed to ask about her. I looked down at the table, moved some things around restlessly. "So, how's Jenny?" I remember your pause, the breathing, the slowing down, both of us once again coming into that present moment. We shared a long moment of eye contact. Your eyes were unreadable. You looked down at your ring finger. Our divorce was final 6 months ago. I could hear the heaviness in your voice. I watched the weight descend over your body as your shoulders hunched forward a little, your head lowering. I'd seen the weight of Jenny roll over you so many times. It was as familiar as the sound of your voice. I put my hand over yours. When you lifted your head, I asked quietly, "When did you stop wearing the ring?" I knew it couldn't have been long. The tan line was faint, but still clear. You answered, 2 months ago. My mind spun with questions tumbling over each other, trying to rush out of my mouth in a torrent. Instead, I breathed deeply a few times and held your gentle gaze. I suddenly noticed the lines in your face were deeper, your cheeks were heavier. "How are you in this moment?" I asked gently. Pausing and breathing between each word, you said, "Sad, relieved, hurting, a little lost." I realized a poorly timed smile had started to spread across my face because you looked confused. "I'm sorry." I smiled because we just basically reenacted the start of our first conversation on our first date. Jenny had broken up with you for the first time of many the night before, and you were sad then too. You smiled wryly and skillfully changed the subject. We reminisced about some of the amazing times we'd spent together, dancing, talking, and snuggling with our friends in your cuddle castle. There was a break in conversation, and I asked myself silently, who am I now in this moment as I sit here with this man? Can I see him clearly without all the filters of our past and of my admittedly fallible memories blurring my vision? I sat back to take you in more intentionally. "Beginner's mind," I reminded myself yet again and added, "Keep breathing." "Hi, I'm Heather." I gave you a reassuring smile that said, "Stick with me. You'll understand in a moment." I continued, "In this moment, I feel relaxed, curious, and happy to be sharing conversation with a delightful human I once shared a great deal of time and space with. Can I ask again, how are you in this moment?" You had one of those small smiles that said you were cautiously optimistic, open, and playful. "Hi, I'm Sel, and I enjoy how relaxed I feel right now." You paused briefly, and I watched with delight as all the oh so familiar signs that visions of food were dancing in your head appeared. "And I'm hungry. Are you available for a while? Would you like to join me for some Thai food or a burrito like old times?" I felt the answer in every cell of my body before the words rushed out of my mouth. "Fuck yes." You offered your hand. I slowed my breathing again and tuned in to the details of the moment. Sliding my hand into yours reminded me of the pleasure of cold skin slipping into an exquisitely soft, warm blanket. I smiled up at you. Our eyes met. We smiled at each other and turned towards the street, stepped into the unknown, finally side by side again. Thank you for being on the receiving end. I hope you enjoyed this story. I look forward to hearing your thoughts about it.